decisions that you take at the top. The reason why Odisha Television Network, it's been 25 years, so OTV turned 25 this year. And it's a great milestone for us to achieve. And what I'm proud of the organization is that it's not as complacent as a lot of organizations over the period of generations get. And I think that is only because we intend to keep keep the energy going. We don't think we are number one. I mean, although we're very proud that we're number one, we're not being humble at all. But we don't think we have arrived. And I think that is something that we always focus on. We've not arrived. We have to constantly keep developing. So it doesn't matter who is in that role, a woman, a man, it's me, it's you, it's anybody. If we feel today that we have arrived, then we're not going anywhere. Right? So I think that is what we believe in our goal. And hence I think the kind of pace we move at is much faster than our competitors or anybody else in the same industry, because we're always reaching for the stars and the moon. Although, let's take it this.
So, like, you have been painting the screens, I would say. So, in the state, the people, those who look to you, they are very much proud and they are waiting to see you bloom. But when it comes to you, who do you look up to?
I think my answer was in the previous question.
Yes.
100% my mother. Ever since I was a child, she has always and will always be my role model, my mentor. My mentor was my dad, but my mom's always been the trendsetter, not only in our family but in the state and the country. She's always gone and broken the class ceilings, and I would hope and pray that I at least become 50% as good as her, and that would be a big achievement of my life. So, not only me, I think a lot of people in Odisha do look up to her, and I think she's a great role model to have in one's life.
Because when it comes to media, the state of Odisha look up to Jackie ma'am, absolutely, because there is no lie being settled in this statement, I would say. So, being in such a position, you are getting to lead such a big firm or organization, I would say. There are women, and I have seen OTV giving that some amount of chance to the women, those who want to get into the multimedia field, and also giving them such competent positions. So don't you think that if the other persons, those who are working in the same firm, if they come under sign of these women competent positions, don't you think the whole organizations would be running in a very better and a positive way, because the women's are running it on such a good pace? What will you say about it?
Look, even the research says that no team, teams which have more diversity and teams which have more inclusivity. So the research suggests that teams that are more diverse and have more inclusivity of, of different perspectives, because they bring different perspectives onto the table. And a lot of times, it's not teams that are homogeneous in nature, that is led totally by men or totally by women. I don't think those teams do as good as teams that are more diverse and more inclusive in nature. So, in my opinion, we are open. We are definitely open to hiring. I wouldn't say we're open to hiring women or we're open to hiring men. We are open to hiring competent resources. We are here to provide people with an opportunity, with a platform to prove themselves, to excel in the industry, and we're always here. But in my opinion, although I'll come to another point, is that women-led teams are said to do much better than their male counterparts, and
I'll also tell you why that is, because mostly women lead with a lot of compassion, a lot of collaboration, they insist on a lot of work-life balance, and all this leads to a lot of team motivation. So obviously those teams perform better than the male counterparts, but then there are other studies also that suggest that there's some women who are, criticized for their leadership style and toxic work environment, etc. So yes, as the research suggests that women are more empathetic, more collaborating, more work-life balance suggesting, which gets the team to be more enthusiastic about working. It also again depends on a case-to-case basis. But you're right, and we're open. And if anybody wants to join us, let me know.
So guys, here is a hint for you. Please contact Latisha. So, being in such a position, being the business head of Odisha Television Groups is a very profounding thing, I would say. Absolutely, because the only thing that relates much to me is the work culture. So when a woman is leading such a big
Different roles and different leadership roles, it's a much larger perspective. It's not just this or that. And like we said, that the studies also suggest that women are more collaborative, more empathetic, more interested in the work-life balance, which causes more motivation and enthusiasm in the team. And I think that is how the work culture or the work-life culture is developing. Yeah, but again, it's again case by case basis. But for now, I think women's leadership styles are very different than their male counterparts. And currently, the leadership styles have become very gender neutral. Like right now, we also see a lot of men being very empathetic, more collaborative. Because at the end of the day, the business of a business is to do business, right? It's not anything else. And if we can do it with inclusivity and equity, that's the way to go.
Yes, absolutely, I would say. Because when it comes to you, you have your vehicle is on a pace from the scratch, I would say. So, how challenging it was? Because nowadays, acceptance of women in such industry has been a tough job. So, you have started this from a very zero position, and till now, what sort of challenges that you are facing, and all the pluses and minuses that you want to share with us today?
I think the role in itself is very challenging, irrespective of my gender. But obviously, there are certain positives and negatives of being a woman. And obviously, initially, look, people nationally still have challenges accepting women in certain roles. So regionally, you can just think that it's 10 times harder for people to accept women in leadership roles, especially in the regional media. And I have had my fair set of challenges, not only because I'm a woman, but because also I'm younger than most people, and also because maybe people think that I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I would disagree to some extent, yes. Being born in a certain setup, being born to certain people, belonging from a certain family does give you more opportunities than most. But that said, it does not define your caliber. At the end of the day, it comes down to how much of a performance are you able to deliver. Like I said, the business is to do business, not charity, right? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who I am. If I'm not performing, then I don't fit in. No matter who I am, where I come from, who are my parents, it does not make sense. There were two challenges, like I said, not only being a girl, but also being somebody who is younger and somebody coming from a certain preference or reference. But again, how we deal with it is we go along, we include people, and we say, hey, look, this is the truth, right? I'm not going to challenge you. I'm not going to say, hey, Zabardasti report to me, Zabardasti do this. Let's work together. It's more a matter of understanding and humility that you have to display in order for people to accept you. And at the end of the day, it's my job to get people to accept me. It's not, their job is to work. Their job is to do what they're being paid for. They're not being paid to accept me. It's my job for me to get people to accept me. And how I can do that is only by performing and showing that I do have some material in me and I'm not all just talk and no show. Right.
So is this what you always wanted to do? Like you always wanted to be in the multimedia field, or like you had some different vision in your mind?
I literally had no vision. Like I said, I was a software engineer, and technically I should be sitting in an IT firm at the moment. But I'm here, and it's how things just fell into place. And I never said no to any opportunity that came my way. I never said that, oh, let me complicate my life a little bit and think in 10 different directions as to what I can do or what I can't do. Even today, I tell my team, I said, you think I can't be in in the US or in any other metro city and be doing living a better life? I mean, of course I can, but then I have made my choices. At the end of the day, what do you want? Do you want to keep enjoying all your life, or do you want to really build a life that you can enjoy for the rest of your life? So I always keep saying that I want to build a life that I don't need to take a vacation from. And for me, it's not about which industry or what is this or what is that. I don't want to confine myself in a box. I want to do what makes me happy. I want to do things that not only grow me as a person, but also my organization, the people around me. I like to see people grow. I like to see my organization grow. I like to face challenges, and I'm happy doing whatever I'm doing as long as I'm happy.
Sure. So there would be a lot of time that you would be facing a lot of confusion when it comes to the work field. So how do you deal with that?
Like I said, I don't complicate life. I just take it as it comes. I never let an opportunity go. My dad always says that 3 types of opportunities that come your way. One is that come and knock on your door, and you're like, hey, I'm not going to open the door. There's a second type of opportunity that is passing by, and you're like, hey, that's an interesting opportunity. Let me go grab it. And then there's a third kind of opportunity where you're just going and looking and looking and looking and looking, and it may come across. And even if when it comes across, if you don't take it, then I don't know what to say. There's nothing I can after that. But it's very important that we all take the opportunities, at least the ones that come and knock on our door. And it does not happen to everybody. It does not happen every day. And just don't be scared. Like, what's the worst that will happen, right? And if you are capable, you will build up all over again. So that's how I deal with my confusion.
If we talk about 2030 vision or a year forever vision, where do you see the women's growth in the multimedia industry? Women being itself as a professional and even as a leader, where do you see the stand for women in the multimedia field?
Look, I think already there are a lot of women, like I said, the most important thing is if anybody, not if a woman or if a girl is interested in pursuing their career in multimedia, there are like few things that you there's a certain process that I always followed, and I will let you know, and if you guys like it, you can take it up. One is to develop your skills and interest in the field you are interested in, right? You find a role model, you find a mentor, you see what they have done to excel in that field or in that industry. You gain a little bit of hands-on experience, you network with people. Networking is a very, very important part of any industry, is that when you network, it's not only for a certain opportunity, but it's also for a lot of knowledge. You join different clubs, you join different groups, and you discuss more, you attend seminars or exhibitions or conferences, then you gain more knowledge. So that's how you network, you take advices, and then you pursue an education properly, like all of you are. You're studying in the school of communication. That's literally the last step before getting a job or before starting something of your own. And so I think with 2030, the government has also taken a lot of steps to include women. not only in media and industry, but also the Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme that was launched in 2015, right? And then there are a lot of things that make more, like they are asking women to join the workforces. There are more incentives. There's more push. There's more advocacy around it. So I think we've come a long way, and we have a long way to go. And I think we'll be there pretty soon.
Amazing. So lastly, I would be asking, like as you said about the campaign, the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So when it comes to the multimedia field, we see a little less women as in a person. So do you think where the lack sits in, is it in the education field or is the resources very less?
I think in general, the entertainment industry is huge, large, and has a lot of opportunities when compared to media. When it comes to media in general, the opportunities are less. The media industry is smaller. It's not that great a revenue generating industry that a lot of people are interested in. A lot of journalists that you see today, they're not very enthusiastic because of the remuneration, that is offered in the media industry. And media nowadays is so polarized that people are sort of, we're predominantly a country that love entertainment and sports. And unless media becomes entertaining enough, I don't think people are going to be interested in watching it enough. But nevertheless, we all know that media is the fourth pillar of democracy. Media is the most challenging job. It's the most time-taking job. And there are more opportunities now than they were yesterday for women. And I would say that going ahead, it again depends on an individual to individual how much they are committed to what they want to do. Obviously, there will be a toss in work-life balance when it comes to media. While the whole world in COVID was working from home, media was all there out in the field, right? I know of nothing such as work from home. I've never worked from especially because we belong to an industry where we do not have the luxury to work from home, I would say. And so that is what it is. It's a very, very challenging role, and I don't think unless you're very passionate about it, unless you're very interested, and unless you're very dedicated, it is for the weak-hearted. It takes a lot from you. If you really want to, it's open. It's open. It's an individual's choice. It's no more a choice of a man or a woman. Opportunities are there. In fact, especially with so much advocacy and so much empowerment, there are more opportunities for women, I would say. Now it's their choice. We in leadership roles are here to accept and to take women forward. The individuals have to make the next step now.
That was amazing, actually. Thank you very, very much for joining into this session and gathering the audience in such a ideological way. So now we are opening the floor for the question and answer session with the beloved students. So volunteers, can you get a mic?
Yes. Begin.
Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the audience? You can raise your hands up. Yes. You can please come here. Please say your name and your batch.
Hi, call me Latisha, please.
Okay. Hello, Ritisha. I'm Shrivara and I'm a student of Masters in Journalism and Mass Communication. It was amazing hearing you and listening about your chaotic career so far. I actually relate to that a lot. And
Oh, nice.
so
I'm not the only one, I'm glad.
yes, I am also equally glad to hear that. So my question would be on that actually. So since you said that you do not take, you do not say no's, you always go for yeses. And so how do you deal with that, confusion sometimes? And do you never feel like, could I be doing something better? Or like it always comes to you that I'm confident where I am and I'm going to perform here and see what I can do. Like, how do you navigate your life with a chaotic career without a plan?
Of course, 100%. I am confused a lot of times, more times than you can imagine. It's always, it's always about, there's always going to be better. There's always going to be something better. No matter where you reach in life, there's always going to be something better that you can do. But what you need to be, what I look at it, I'm not asking you to look at it, but what I look at when I do is it's basically a cost opportunity analysis, right? Like, what outweighs what, right? I have this opportunity and I have that opportunity. Today I'm going to go out there, I'm going to be reporting to somebody, say 10 levels down. Today I'm here, I have the freedom to work. There's a huge difference. There you are instructed to do 10 things. Here, of course the pay may be much better than what it is here, but do I have the freedom to work? Do I have the work-life balance? Will I be so passionately making a change? What is more important for me is the lifestyle that a metro city offers, the kind of money that the metro city offers. Is that more important, or is making a change, going to bed in the night thinking I made a change today, or I did something productive, I did something that I achieved something, or the feeling of satisfaction before I go to bed with a decent amount of pay. Is that important? I'm not saying, I know all of you will think, oh, you're sitting here and talking to us about money is not important. Money is definitely important. I know it's the most important thing to humankind. But it's just, again, like I said, cost-benefit analysis. What you earn here may look less, but what you earn outside may look more, but your expenses will also go up. Please remember that. You have to be a good finance person. I'm not saying you have to do great finance degrees, but you have to know कि कितने में कितना खर्चा हो रहा है, कितना कमा रहा है और कितना save हो रहा है. You can't be like, oh, that's what I want. At the end of the day, if that is what you want, go for it, right? But you need to know what you want. And if being here, making this change, and having the freedom of work gives me happiness, that's where I choose. Because at the end of the day, life is not about many other things. When you do what you love, money, everything else will follow. But to begin with, I need to be happy with myself. I need to be happy with what I'm doing, and I need to be happy with my job. So that's the only measure I always weigh before whenever I have a confusion. So yeah, if that works for you, let me know.
It does. Thank you so much. But I just wanted to ask
Please.
one small question. You mentioned that making an impact, making a change in what you're working is actually something that gets you a good sleep. So what do you feel like is the mark that you feel like you've made a change today, or you've made something today? So what do you take home? What do you take to your...
Me communicating with you feels like making a change to me, because me putting out something that has worked for me, and if it helps you, it's something that is, it is as small as that. It does not have to be that I'm earning $1 billion for the company. It does not have to be that I'm changing 100 lives and sponsoring something. It doesn't have to be that. Even if I have one team member who grows by 1% on a daily basis, that's very rewarding for me. Seeing change for better in small things is a change for me. So even like I said, like this conversation, if even like one of you takes something out of it and if it helps you, then that's something that's rewarding for me. So I've done my job by putting it out there, and so that helps me. Yeah.
That's really, really beautiful thought. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Srima. Are we taking any more questions? Yes.
Hello, Ritisha. This is
Hi.
Priyank.
Hi.
So, we have seen throughout the time now, media is changing. People are adapting digital media and they're more acquainted with it. So, what are your thoughts and what are your steps that you can take to induce more people, more youth to go through they are watching the mainstream, they're not into the mainstream, they are into the digital platform. Yeah. So, what changes and what steps you can take, to make youth to get into the digital media and get information from it?
very interesting question. It got me thinking for a second. So, you're right, you're absolutely right that the age of media, the age of communication is changing and everything is going more on digital media. And I think as an organization, what we do, I'm talking in terms of an organization, I will come as an individual or for the you. So as an organization, definitely I believe only the paranoid will survive. If you don't adapt, you die. And adapting to the needs of the community, adapting to the needs of the changing demands is what media does best. It's always done. You know, from print media, from radio, print, broadcast, now digital. Media has always adapted to consumer demands, and it's very easy to figure out what consumer demands are when it comes to media. Now, when it comes to what are the steps that any organization or individuals as yourself can do is innovate, right? Ideate and innovate. Ideate, innovate, fail, repeat. You know, the sooner you fail, the better it is, and you constantly explore. So, what is media? Let's just. I'm sorry, I don't want to take a lecture on this, but media news is something where you educate people on what's happening in and around them. Okay, with the invent of technology and with the smartphone which is there with everybody, the most innovative thing you can do is you can give them information as seamlessly, as fast as possible, as easily fed to them. So I think digital media is still developing, and I think it has made like a lot of changes. The COVID pandemic obviously accelerated the change that was supposed to like happen slowly. Definitely through innovation, ideation, and fail, try,
Searching YouTube.
keep doing it again, and
BGU Avyaana.
we'll be
Line
there.
is there.
But stopping social media,
YouTube, I'm doing
that's no. So I think innovating, inventing, and moving.
YouTube, BGU
I hope I answered
Avyaana.
your
The
question.
spelling
Thank you.
is there.
Just want to add on one.
Please.
If we are getting the what they are saying is the authenticated news, and there's no fake rumors throughout the news media.
Look, I think that's a basic responsibility of any news organization. If you call yourself a news organization, I think that's the basic responsibility that you ought to follow is say the truth and nothing but the truth. Like it's, as a media organization, we have been in this for 25 years, and today I think OTV is very synonym to truth in the state. And that is because we very, 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 very strongly believe in this. And you have media channels giving you opinions on what you need to believe. They're telling you what to do, where to go. They have debates, they have opinions loud and clear. But a media's job is not to give opinions. A media's job is only to report, right? And I think it is a matter of principle. It's nothing you can do technologically or through rules and regulations. Of course, the Ministry of Information and Broadcast does have guidelines to curb fake news and rumors, especially news outlets that spread fake news or rumors. There is strict action regulation for them, and it's also happening in the digital side. But again, it's a matter of principle. It's a matter of principle, each one of us, how important truth is. Truth is very important when you put a news out there, and it's not your job to decide for anybody. Your job is to give information, it's their job to decide. Like, we also believe in this very strongly. We report, you decide. We don't decide for you. Right? At the end of the day, we are giving you all sides of the story. It's your decision to make. So I think that's a principle that people need to have. But if your principles are messed up, then the humankind is doomed for life. So it's a principle. To be truthful and honest as a media organization, you have a responsibility to the society, or a social responsibility. You adhere to it. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyanshu. Yes, please pass the mic.
Hi. Please sit.
Vidisha, this is Adrija. My question to you is, since we're here talking about women in workplaces, we're here talking about women in workplaces. Since we're here talking about women in workplaces and their education, so where do you think the future for women in legacy media is?
Future for women in legacy media. It's pretty much the same as it is for any individual. And do you want to like specify the question a little more? Future as in what?
Like in leadership roles.
In leadership roles, like I said, women in leadership roles are much required, and that only solves one part of the whole puzzle. Right? So, people in legacy media and legacy businesses, it's still very open. It's still very, in fact, it's more demanding than in ordinary businesses because legacy business. So, you know, when you have a startup or when you're starting something new, you have the space to make errors. But when it comes to legacy businesses, they have already had such a long history of establishing themselves. It's very difficult. The room for error is very small, right? So the future is still very much there. It's there, but it's challenging for sure. Like I said, the room for error in legacy businesses, media, anywhere is little lesser than a startup or a new company. Thanks. Thank you, Adrija.
Hey, Rishita.
Hi.
This is Samantha from the agency First Year.
Switch it
A
up.
little closer, please. Little closer.
Now it's fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Sushil from the agency First Year. My question is, what do you think make Odisha television industry or media industry different from other states' media and television industries?
We're not polarized at all. Straight up question, we're not polarized. We don't give any opinions. We're not interested in doing a debate and pointing out fingers at people. We are only interested in the truth and only the truth and the welfare of people. So very interestingly, I don't know if people outside Odisha Television Network, the employees of Odisha Television Network, I don't know outside that if people know. Odisha Television Network has a charter, and it's a very extensive charter. The charter is free, fair, and unbiased. And we have a regular monitoring system. First of all, as promoters, we are not involved in what happens at the editorial front. There is an editorial team that is totally independent of running what the news they want to run. So there are people who keep coming to us and saying, hey, you know, this news is being run against us, or they said, we can't do anything about it. I said, even if tomorrow OTV decides to publish something against me, I mean, I literally have to go through a whole process to sort of request them to not. Right? It's a challenging, we have made it so challenging. We have had standard operating procedures in place that ensure that we do not carry any news that is biased, because we are only working for the people. We're not working for the government, we're not working for the opposition party, we're not working for anybody. We are here, we're reporting, you decide. So polarization is a complete no-no in OTV, and I think that is what sets us apart, and that is, we've been rewarded with it. For 25 years we've been number one. I do not know of a news organization that has been consistently at number one position for so long. They've fallen down, they've come back, they've fallen down, they've come back. But 25 years to be consistent and number one is only and only because people trust us. It's what the people are giving back to us, and we will respect that and we give. So our integrity, our principles are so strong from everybody else. In fact, we changed our tagline. We went from "We report, you decide" to "Truthfully yours." You know, in the young age, we went to say that we're truthfully yours. So, yeah, I think that's what makes us different.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sushil. The time is racing up. Are we taking any more questions?
Mark is only asking me a question.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Vidisha. I'm Anuriti, by the way.
And she's from.
Yeah. As a
colleague and as an audience here, I would love to know, as you have learned so many things, like we have been in diverse fields, and so how do you manage to multitask and to be organized? And I would like to know an event where, like, on the context of this Women's Day, I'd like to know an event where you have been like suppressed and how you have came out.
Very, very interesting. So, how do I manage to stay organized? I have a notebook. I have 100 notes in my phone, a to-do list. So every time something comes up in my mind, an idea, a task, anything, I'm putting it down and I'm constantly following up. Odisha has a very, very complicated culture of follow-ups. You have to follow up, otherwise people will forget. I think at some point of time, I'm also going to go into the same rut and be like, I forgot. So I forgot to follow up, then the work is not happening, right? So I think writing it down every day, just waking up and being like, what do I have to focus on today? And just having visually things, like visually just aligning my goals on my computer की ये आपके goals हैं, इसको achieve करने के लिए आपको क्या-क्या काम करना है. That is how I stay organized. The first part of the question. The second part of the question was, have I ever been suppressed as a woman and how did I tackle that? Not here, but in my other job, when I was outside Odisha, in another company. I was very enthusiastic. It's an anecdote, so guys don't take it very seriously. So, as an enthusiastic and an energetic person, I've always been like, I feel like I can do anything. Just give the job to me. You have a problem, give it to me. I'll solve it for you. So that kind of enthusiasm was always there. And a lot of times when you're in real estate, you have a lot of PR to do, a lot of relationships to manage. And somehow the top bosses always thought that it's not a good idea to send a woman. And whereas when I was sitting at the office, there were a lot of things that probably stereotypically a guy could do and weren't able to do, and I was doing it. And when it came to a big job, right? अच्छा कंप्यूटर निकालना है, ये करना है, वो करना है, ठीक है आप कर रहे हो. But जब actually it's a big work where you have to talk to certain people to get certain work done at the top. They're like, ये लड़की है, तुम लड़की हो. And it was told to me very honest. It's like, no, you're a girl and you're very young. You shouldn't get into all of this. This world is bad for you. And things like that. And that's it. I think that was the day when I thought I couldn't work there anymore. So, not adjusting to certain things and taking a lesson from it and showing how you can do better. I think that's how I tackled it. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, sure.
Yeah, the beauty.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Ritisha.
Hello, Nitisha. So, how has OTV played the role of watchdogs? And also, I would like to know, like, what does OTV do to promote equity?
So first things that we do to promote equity is what I just did with you. First name culture, right? We follow first name culture. So we don't have mans and sirs, and even Ananya is also here. Ananya knows. We call Jali Jali. We don't call her Jali ma'am. We don't call her, any other profound title. We all address her as well by the first name. So that's the first thing that we do to promote equity, because equity is not only about gender, but it's also about the culture. The second thing we do is we evaluate a person based on their skill set and map it to the job role they have applied for and if it fits or not. We don't hire somebody only because they belong to a certain gender, caste, or anything. We hire people based on their competency, and that is what we do.
coming up? None? So thank you so much. Thank you for being the lovely audience. Thank you, Nitisha, for being here.
Thank you.
Connecting with the audience.
Thank you so much. I love talking to everybody. I hope I didn't bore a lot of you.
So now I'm handing over to the hosts. Kindly take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You should be there.
All right. Okay, thanks. She talks very well.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable experiences with us.
Don't call me ma'am, call me Latisha. Don't make me feel old.
Now we would like to call upon the guys, Head of Bila School of Communication, Dr. Shivshankar Das, to felicitate our guest, Dr. Ms. Litisha Vargathan.
Thank you.
Extend on what is said, only the boys, not the girls, to listen to all these things. लड़के हैं ही नहीं एरिया में इसका just call randomly people, not the girls. पीछे से yeah, connect those things. Collect these things.
Now we call on Dr. Gyan Ranjan Mishra, Assistant Professor, Birla School of Communications, to deliver the vote of thanks for the session.
No, studio. To where?
Good afternoon. So I can start with a proverb, whatever you call it. Women, God's most beautiful creation. So the role may be different. So the role may be like the mother, the role may be like a sister, like a friend, girlfriend, then your colleague at your workplace. So the role is very diverse, I can say. So actually, why I said this, because I think I have passed through everything. The role I have, from the other side, what you said. So today morning when I thought of I have a vote of thanks to deliver over here, I said that before I say something formal kind of thing, I should express myself. So Mother's Day, International Women's Day. So every time I used to miss my mother in my place. For the first time, she is over here. So with me, so she used to stay in the village. So this time she is with me. So the International Women's Day, so I will be spending a lot of time with her. So I have seen the role, it is about, we talk about, there is a role of women for the success of the men. So if you see any of you, wherever you are today, there is a role of the women, so that have brought you to such height, whatever you call it, position. So I'm coming back to the program, just I want to share a background over this event. So I think this all started in the classroom number 5, where I teach the master students event management. So somehow, if the brainchild, what we call the event, it started in the classroom number 5 with the MA first year students. So they said, sir, we will have a program. I said, yes. So I am teaching you the event management subject. So this is the practical. So somehow we have some kind of lack of coordination during the event. You must have marked it. So on behalf of the students, I also feel somehow apologize for those things. So, but whatever I can say, if it is the first of its kind, the students have done a very marvelous job, the School of Communication. So, I am very much thankful to the students of my school, followed by the colleagues who work in the school for the last few years with any type of event we used to do. And last but not the least, I can say, Miss Litisha. So I have also like some kind of like problem in pronouncing the names of the students in the classroom as well. So sorry about it. So as you the session was very wonderful. I think some of my colleagues we are discussing that like job what was done by Priti. Again, same problem. So it is a marvelous job. So I was just seeing the future journalists grooming over here on the diet. And overall, I also thank the people who are not present over here, our Vice Chancellor, our Registrar, the technical team, everyone who has who have supported us. So thank you all, and I also wish you best of luck for the next sessions or the next day sessions. So we hope we will be doing it in a more professional and enthusiastic way. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.